we are down to our last example. So example 4 is going to be 4x squared minus 14x plus 12. Now notice there's a number in front of the x squared, so we need to multiply 4 times 12, which is 48. You can check on your calculator. So now we're going to do our t-chart on the other side. We have multiplication on one side and addition on the other side. We're going to put positive 48 on the multiplication side and negative 14 on the addition side. And we need to find two numbers that multiply to give us negative 14. Now, I don't want to start at 1 times 48 because 1 plus 48 is clearly not going to be 14. So let's instead start with the numbers that gave us 48, 4 and 12. Now, another thing I notice is the multiplication number is positive, but the addition number is negative. So when I add, I want my numbers to be negative. In order to do that, I need to multiply numbers that give me positive but add to give me negative. Well, if I multiply two positive numbers, that's going to add to give me two positive numbers. I don't want that. But if I multiply two negative numbers, that will give me a positive number because a negative times a negative is a positive. And when I add two negative numbers, that's going to give me a negative. So I want my numbers to be negative. So let's do negative 4 times negative 12. Negative 4 times negative 12 is going to be positive 48. And then if I have negative 4 plus negative 12, that's going to give me negative 16. Now that's not negative 14, but it's pretty close. So the numbers I need are closer to these numbers than it would be 1 and 48. So we're going to cross this off because this is not the numbers we're looking for. And at this point, you probably want to play with your calculator a little bit and find numbers that multiply to give you 48 and keep adding them. Keep making a list of these numbers until you find negative 14. Remember, you want the numbers to be negative. Both numbers should be negative because 14 is negative and 48 is positive. So as you continue checking your numbers, eventually you're going to find that negative 6 times negative 8 is going to give you positive 48, but negative 6 plus negative 8 gives you negative 14, which is what we're looking for. Now that means we're going to rewrite this polynomial and we're going to separate negative 14x as negative 6x plus negative 8x. So we're going to say 4x squared minus 6x minus 8x plus 12. And just like last time, we're going to group the first two and group the last two. And now we're going to factor out a common factor. In the first group, 4x squared and negative 6x have a common factor of 2. 4 and 6 have a common factor of 2. So we're going to write 2. And they both have at least one x. So we're going to take out an x as well. So the common factor between 4x squared and negative 6x is 2x. So now we can open a parentheses and divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. X squared divided by x is a singular x. We're going to bring down the minus sign. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then x divided by x, that just reduces and we can close it. That's not going to leave us with anything. Then we're going to go to the next group and we're going to divide. I have negative 8x plus 12. So because there's a negative here, I need to factor out a negative number. Okay, anytime you have a negative in the middle, take out a negative, and that's going to change the signs to your group. Now the number I can divide 8 and 12 by is going to be 4. This has an x, this does not have an x, so we are not going to factor out an x. We're going to factor out a negative 4 and open a parentheses. Now negative 8x divided by negative 4 is going to be a positive 2x because negative 8 divided by negative 4 is positive 2, and then we just bring down our x. Now, here's where it changes a little bit. Positive 12 divided by negative 4 is going to be a negative number because a positive divided by a negative is negative. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3, and then we are done. And once again, notice the 2x minus 3 repeats, so we're going to factor that out. So we're going to write 2x minus 3 as a factor. And then we're going to open another parentheses and write what's left over, which is 2x minus 4. So 2x minus 4. Now, we're not done yet. Notice that the 2x minus 3 does not have a common factor, but the 2x minus 4 does have a common factor. I can divide 2x by 2 and negative 4 by 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor a 2 out of this second factor. So we're going to write parentheses 2x minus 3, just rewrite the first factor. And over here, we're going to factor out a 2, and then we're going to close it like this. And then we're going to open a parentheses, and we're going to factor out that 2. So 2x divided by 2 is just a singular x, and then negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2. And then we're going to close that parentheses. Now this is an ugly way, in my opinion. This is very ugly. We don't want to write our factorization like this. What we want to do is we want to move this 2 to the front without the parentheses. So we're going to rewrite this. We're going to rearrange it. And we're going to say 2, and then we're going to open the parentheses. So we're moving the 2 to the front. And then we're just going to bring down the 2x minus 3. And then we're just going to bring down the x minus 2. And that is the factorization of 4x squared minus 14x plus 12. And that is the end of our series. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Remind 101.